Hey, welcome to Northwoods Kindred podcast. I'm Bodvarr, the chieftain and Gothi of the Northwoods, and this is
Jafnharr. I'm the Leeknir of Northwoods Kindred.
Of course, you've met him before a couple of podcasts ago. So last week's podcast, what we talked about was just like taking time for yourself and mental healing, and of course we went through the Havamal.
Yeah.
Talked about a few things in the Havamal and kind of related them to modern times. So now we're just kind of like this next step in that, self-cleansing mode, which is we took a little bit of time off and we spent a weekend out here. We're on our third day.
Yeah, this is
2
our
nights
third day.
and third day.
Mm-hmm.
And but we'll be packing out of here today. But we thought, why not just share this? I mean, look how beautiful it is. We're up on Priest Lake. I'm not going to tell you which campsite because
it's ours.
I don't want a bunch of people coming up here,
Mm-hmm.
but because this is one of my favorite spots and it's very clean and it's very organized and I like it, and I'd like to have it available next time I come up. But
Definitely.
But I digress. We're up here at Priest Lake on the northern edge, and we just canoed in. You can hike in. There's hiking trails here, but we decided to canoe in. And then yesterday we did a long canoe. Like we went all the way up to the...
Easily 5 miles.
Easily 5 miles. Even cutting the corner.
Yeah, even the cut in the corners that we did cut.
Yeah.
And we had to take a couple breaks and stuff, but it was awesome. It was a fun trip.
Yeah, and it was kind of cool because sometimes the people out here with the big boats, the rich boats.
Yeah,
I call the rich boats are whether they're rentals or not, it doesn't matter. They're really
fancy boats.
Really fancy, fast.
Those wave makers and tri-hull or tri-pontoons. We saw a couple of those.
Yeah, those are cool, man.
Those are cool looking, but I mean, one of them had like 20 freaking people on the thing.
Yeah, just partying and having a good time. But but it's a lot more relaxed up here now. Like you can see, there's nothing going on the lake.
There's nothing out there.
But if this was Memorial Weekend, it would be a nightmare. There'd be music blasting and water skiers, and it's fun, but it's not the same kind of atmosphere as you get, especially when you want to canoe. You want to just come up here and just kind of paddle around. But,
Right.
So what we're doing is we're connecting with nature, and we've got a good time to just kind of sit back, observe nature, kind of look for any signs, because sometimes the gods try to communicate with us, and we get so busy with our pissant lives. Basically we're just running through it with heads down, and we can't see anything, and we certainly can't see signs or signals or communications from the divine. So
definitely.
So that's what we do. We take some time and we do it, and we walk barefoot, and we get our feet wet.
Yeah.
And cold plunge in the lake in the morning.
Cold plunged in the lake. Met some dude on a kayak.
He was out here with a whole bunch of
Boy Scouts. Yeah, Boy Scouts. And I have probably not worn my shoes all weekend. I literally have sunburn on the top because I didn't wear them yesterday, and it's just been great. I realized it last night too. There was something about just walking around here.
Yeah.
Like just off in the woods, there's moss. And so it literally feels like carpet.
Yes, I experienced that too, going to the head.
Yeah, just going to the head, and and it feels great. So there's sand, there's dirt. We've been on rocks. I took a little beach walk yesterday, found some rocks for the family and stuff, and it's just a good way to really ground yourself. We are a lightning rod of energy,
right? And for sure,
a conduit. So we definitely, I love being barefoot. So
and then the roots too. We were at that one camp and it had all those exposed roots.
Yeah,
like a whole network of like roots growing out that you could kind of walk on. That was really cool.
That was really cool. Yeah, I should.
That was what you said. That was a white pine.
Yeah, it was a white pine.
I have a picture of it.
Oh, you do? Good.
If I don't have a picture, I have a video. I can get a still out of it. So We'll throw that in now.
Yeah. It looked amazing, as you can see, and anyways, there was all kinds of cool stuff that we saw yesterday. Not very much wildlife, but it was good to be able to get out on the water. We even had
chipmunks.
There
was that loon.
Yeah, there was the family of loons. I actually sat there and kind of just let the water throw me around, the wind kind of throw me around, and I just kind of watched them and sat and watched one, a female loon with all of her little.
About 6, I think.
Lunettes?
Yeah.
What would you call them?
I don't know.
Ducklings? They're not ducklings.
They're not ducklings. They're not goslings.
Yeah, but anyways.
Loonlings?
Loonlings.
we'll call them loonlings.
Loonlings. Anyways, they're all playing, having a fun time. She even, we got a little close, so she started acting like she was hurt or something to try to draw us away. It was also cool to watch just nature, just be there. There was a couple cool birds we heard. I mean...
We got those 2 ravens that have been stalking our camp. They've been hanging out. They'll probably come by quacking here in a little while.
Yeah.
They're probably waiting for us to leave so they can come in here and see if we left any food.
Yeah, we might have to. I think I might will.
Leave a little something out on the
Leave a little
rocks
something for someone.
Yeah, we could definitely do that. Because they've been paying attention. They've been coming around.
Well, and I felt, I don't know, there's something about here too. Like you were saying the first night, there's something about this spot. You just feel this energy here because you are kind of isolated. You're out on the lake. You have mountains in the background. There's really nobody here.
Right.
And it is a kind of a task to get here. You have to either canoe in, boat in. You still have to pack. You have to prepare. There's some intent and dedication to it. That connection is there because
you can hike in too.
Yeah, you can hike in, which is even better. So
yeah, because Skogel and I hiked in here once before just to have lunch.
Yeah,
it was just like, hey, we got to go up that way anyway. Let's just go hike into that camp and have lunch, and we did, and had lunch right here at this table. And And that's when I was telling you we were watching a little fire up on the mountain. Yeah. And we watched that, and then we hiked back out and went home. So it was a pretty simple day.
Yeah.
But I don't see us doing that anymore because we got that new aluminum canoe, the two person. And the only reason we got that was because I canoe with Bjorn. Almost every time my boat gets wet, Bjorn's with me.
Good.
But it's hard to do if Angel wants to go. So I got the aluminum, so now we can have her and Rune, and then Bjorn in the middle, and then me on the back and her on the front with some gear. There's enough for a double overnighter. Yeah. All this gear that we brought here was easily enough that we could fit in that boat.
Really?
So,
okay.
Yeah. So then, everybody gets to get the connection. And then all the kids have their own kayaks, individuals, but they don't need to carry any gear.
Right.
One dry bag is all they need. I got the kitchen and everything else,
Yeah.
So it's all easy.
Items. Yeah. Yeah, it is pretty easy, but it is a good thing to do is get connected, to kick your shoes off. Do it in your garden. I did it. I had a real rough week one week, man, and I come home, and I didn't get home till like 8 o'clock at night. It was after helping my brother-in-law do a bunch of stuff, and so I was pulling some super late nights, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, waking up, getting up at 4 o'clock, getting 3 or 4 hours of sleep, and then still going back to his house to help him finish stuff. He's paralyzed, so trying to help him get his life situated so he has a better life. But it's I got home after that long week, and everybody was pulling weeds. It's a chore.
Nice
for everybody else, but I was like, oh, we're pulling weeds? Oh shit, yeah. I kicked my shoes off instantaneously, buried my feet in that soil, and I just started plucking, and had a fun time. I didn't do much because I was tired as heck, but it was good to connect to the ground, to connect to the land better. To do that.
I used to do some mentoring at a teen wilderness camp.
Yeah.
And they called that kamoy.
Okay.
And I guess it was a Hawaiian word or something. We should talk to Garvord and figure out what the Norwegian word of it is. But for
Garvord.
But for kamoy, it essentially meant joyful work. It was like taking pride in doing the work that helps other people in your tribe, like doing the dishes or cooking or garden, like the things that you do that make everybody's life easier, but you do it with joy and you do it with an intent.
Yes.
And so they called it kamoy. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. That's just what the camp leaders called it.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting concept. And I imagine that most indigenous cultures have some version of that where it's it's not a labor. It's a joyful work, like splitting wood, enjoy it, enjoy the work.
Wasn't there, Garvor did say something about that on the Discord channel.
I've been kind of off Discord for a little while. I've been kind of getting my head straight.
Of course, I'm horrible with foreign languages. I'm still learning Swedish, and Grand Norwegian's probably not too far off, but I don't remember the word. He was talking about it. I don't remember if it was Old Norse or not, but there is a word that means that, like the joyful work of community.
Yeah.
Man, I forgot what it was called.
Maybe if we have anybody who's Hawaiian and listen, is kamoy right? Is that?
Yeah.
Did they give me the? Nice. Yeah, drop it in the comments and let me know. Like, is that a real word or whatever? So, and also if you're just consuming this or listening to this on the podcast, on a podcast app or Spotify or something, you should probably on this particular one go check out the YouTube video because our background is incredible.
Yes, there's
it is
a lot of
absolutely
stuff for you guys
beautiful
to dissect and look at.
Yeah,
and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I got my canoe back there and my my Polish Lavu tent. And this is our camp. Like, this isn't like some stage prop. Like, this is where we've been camping the last couple of days.
Yeah.
And something we didn't mention was the butterflies. There's just like a mass of butterflies up here.
Yeah, they're
one of them
everywhere.
just burned through a second ago.
Okay. Yeah, we even saw huge like mating circle or something.
Yeah, whatever that was.
Yesterday. That was cool to see. We're at the portage, instead of us going around this super long wave break, we decided just to drag the canoes up and over some sand, and we get to the other side, and we were headed north and to the upper lake, and I saw them, and then we were headed back, and I just disregarded them because I already seen them. They were cool. And then you saw them when you're coming back.
When we were coming back over that little breaker.
Yeah, so that was like 4 hours or maybe 2.5 hours between seeing them, so they were there for a while.
I don't know what you call it, but it's essentially just a mass of butterflies spawning.
Yeah,
in
that's
the
the only
sand.
thing we'd think
It was
of.
really
Sand.
cool.
They were all flapping their wings, and none of them really moving around. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty neat. So it's been a pretty good trip. It really kind of helped me get my head together.
Yeah. It's
shake
good
out the cobwebs and get connected.
Yeah, it is good to be able to do this because you do spend a lot of time relaxing, and those mental and emotional problems that we all kind of go through are really kind of helped even by your own body. Your body really tells you what you need,
right?
And this is definitely one of them. I needed some exertion to get some aggression out. I needed, some relaxation to catch up on sleep and just let my body and my mind kind of recuperate from all the crap that I've been going through. I'm sure you took a nap yesterday too for a little bit, didn't you?
After that paddle I did.
That paddle
floored me.
Yeah. Well, we were fighting the wind the whole way back across this lake. So as you guys can see, this whole lake here is pretty big, and we probably paddled from here to the other side, I would imagine.
Oh, easily.
From the break. So.
Yeah.
We got, instead of just skirting the shore, we were
3
like,
miles
let's go.
up the thoroughfare, or 2 miles up the thoroughfare.
Yeah, it was a couple miles up the thoroughfare, and we stopped there and took some cool pictures because I'd never been to Upper Priest Lake, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite places to go, but you got to commit if you're going to the Upper Priest.
Oh, yeah.
You either need some sort of a vessel that's going to get you there
with a motor,
with a little motor, or even a troller would get you there quicker than we can do it with a canoe fighting that wind.
Yeah, that wind was brutal.
But I think maybe the next time we maybe paddle into this camp, and then in the morning pack up, and then we do that same trek, that hard day to get to the upper lake, and then because when we got to the upper one, the amount of time it took to get back here would have easily been enough to paddle all the way over to Navigation, which is the north edge of the lake, which is just a bomber camp. Yeah. And nobody's ever there because you got to walk in or boat in.
Yeah, and it's a long hike. They do have a trail that goes out there.
Yeah, it's 6 miles, I think.
Yeah, so, 6 miles. If you're willing to put up 6 miles. It looks fairly flat, though.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I think it follows
There's
the
a little elevation,
thoroughfare.
but it does kind of follow the
thoroughfare for the most part, I would imagine. So a little hilly, but if you're hiking, you're probably already used to that. So don't do this if you have heart palpitations.
So it's not bad to do a 6 mile a day hike is okay, but if you're just trying to go up and come back, that's a 12-mile hike.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Just for a day hike, but
I might be wrong on the numbers, but it's over 4. Sure I know it's over 4.
I know you're pretty close to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, because it was cool. This whole trip, this whole trip was kind of a healing process. It was something to look forward to get really excited about, keep my spirits up. My morale was boosted. I did great this last week at work. I had some, struggles and just busted right on through them, because I had this to look forward to.
And you got to just get through it so you can go get your gear packed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Late nights, I even planted my willow, which I'll try to post some pictures on the herbalism channel on Discord and stuff because it was kind of cool. We did it super late at night. I even did a blessing. The moon was rising over the mountains, and I just took my hammer off. I had nothing else. Took my hammer off, and I sat there, and I just... Thor, please protect this tree as it's growing. Odin, give me some wisdom, and I asked for Monty to look over it through the nighttime, so that way no cats or deer came and ate my nice new green shoots because it's growing. It's growing.
That's awesome.
Big, so, yeah.
And then, because talking about the prep work and the getting ready to come here, that first night I cooked us up that venison, or that it was cow elk. Tenderloin with mushrooms and onions, but that elk was the elk that Stig donated to the Kindred.
That's right.
So that came out of that stockpile. So Stig was here in spirit.
Yeah.
So
maybe next year.
Maybe next
year, Stig.
Yeah. So
but you don't even listen. He doesn't even listen to this, does he?
Yeah, he does. I think he does.
Okay,
yeah.
Good.
He says he does.
Good. We'll see if he does.
I don't quiz him. He's got his own life.
That's true. That's true. And we all do have our own lives.
But it was really good to just kind of I find joy in the planning. Even I've planned trips and prepared for trips and then never even gone on them, and I still get something out of the planning process.
Oh,
like
yes,
I enjoy
for sure.
going through my gear, cleaning it, repairing it, making sure that everything's squared away, packing it up into nice little kits. Like you see, I got my saw kit and my kitchen kit and my,
I
everything's
learned
nice.
a lot from you for canoe camping, that's for sure. I came with a backpack. I'm used to backpacking, hiking into somewhere. So I'm minimalistic as all get up. But canoe, I was like, man, what do I put? Well, like everything I have is small, so it's all literally gonna fit on my bag. Like, but I'm definitely getting some buckets. Buckets, those sea bags, man. That's actually a really great idea for like porting and stuff like that. So
that's one thing I do is I just use cheap dry bags, but cheap dry bags get holes in them.
Yeah.
So I just put them in a sea bag, a military sea bag, and it's cool because it all looks the same.
Yeah.
To me, the aesthetics of it are part of it. I got to look at that the whole time I'm paddling.
Yeah.
If I'm looking at a messes stress me out. When my shop's disorganized, my office is disorganized, when there's dishes in the sink, when things are messy, I get stressed out.
Chaos.
So I organize my camp setup so that it's not messy, so it's really clean looking. Because who wants to be stressed out when you're paddling a canoe,
Not at all.
So,
not at all. I
will show you. I'll put some video or pictures or something in of the canoe when I pack it up to leave today, and you'll see how clean and organized it is for a full camp with a 2-burner stove, a big giant frying pan, a cooler, like everything.
And we have not wanted for anything.
A podcast kit.
Yeah, a podcast kit. This was crazy. I thought he was going to come with this little recorder and a couple microphones or something, man. And then he's not going to have the headphones. He's not going to have the whole setup, the mixer and everything. So it's crazy that you brought it all, man. Everything.
Yeah, everything fits nicely in that little case, and that case is waterproof, so I don't even put it in a bag. I just chuck it in the boat behind me.
Boat. Right. Yeah. That way at least you can grab it, right?
And then the one thing I do is I'll string one line, just kind of goes through everything, and then connects to something on the end. So if the boat capsizes, everything can float away. It's not a danger to me.
Oh, okay.
But it's all waterproof. It's all there. I just grab the line of the boat, get myself to shore, reel everything in, throw it back in the boat, and then go back out. So because I got a dog with me, and sometimes he gets excited. He got excited for those loons yesterday, but he didn't tip me.
Yeah, I saw that.
But sometimes he just gets lazy and he just kind of rests his head over the gunnel and leans into that side.
Yeah.
And it throws the weight off in the canoe because he's 100-pound plus.
Yeah, he's a big dog.
So I got to sit all the way to one side and lean out there. And I'm like,
that.
I can only paddle on one side of the boat because
we were going across the lake here, coming back, and sure enough, I look over and dude, you're like way over here, and he's he's just leaning, head kind of over there, and I was like, Bjorn, you're giving him such a hard time.
Sometimes with that struggle, though, I'll jam a paddle between him and the side of the thing, and I'll pry him off of it. Yeah. But sometimes if he's sleeping, it startles him, and he like jumps up, and I'm like, ooh.
sorry.
But I found with him, if he starts shifting around or moving or anything, I usually just drop my paddle in the boat and grab the gunnels.
Yeah.
No matter what happens, the wind or the waves or whatever, and I'll just hold the gunnels in balance while he gets organized, and then I'll readjust.
Right.
But I've tried to stay paddling while he's adjusting, and I'm all over the place. So
gotcha.
It's gonna tip eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually, we're both getting wet. So but so far we haven't. Not unless it was intentional. Because when I first trained him to be a canoe dog, we did go do a lot of tips. I took him to the little local lakes, and we would just nothing in it, just him and me and our preservers.
Yeah.
We paddle out and tip the boat over, and I'd climb in, and he'd try to unswamp it a little bit and get it to the shore, and he'd be paddling next to me.
Paddling right next to you the whole way.
So if you don't know, he's sitting right there. He's like, he never goes too far.
It would be really hard to pull him up over the side.
I wouldn't even try.
No?
He's got a life vest. He can...
really, and it's a dog, so that'll definitely hold him.
But he doesn't like the vest. Like when he's paddling with the vest, he's like trying to chew it off. He's trying to get rid of it. He's a water dog. He's a lab. He could probably swim across this lake
a lot faster. But it's always good to have that on. I mean,
said butterflies again. It just went in your boat.
Yeah. That's my kid.
So we're not really doing a whole lot of talking about Asatru.
No, we're not.
But this is part of it. Like this is part of it. Like nature connection, I think, is a big part of being an animist, a pagan.
Right.
It's not all about Viking horns and throwing axes and being bravado and shields and spears.
It's also being a little bit of a hippie.
Yeah,
right.
There's a little bit of hippie in that.
A little bit of hippie in that.
Sometimes you kick off your shoes and you sit around and camp, or
Yeah,
swim in a
craft
cold
stuff.
lake and expose your body to a little bit of trauma, like because that's how
Deal
you
with
heal.
it, process it.
Yeah.
There is actually true science behind that. I mean, most of you guys that are on our Discord channel, our server there, I through our book hoard, I posted one that I'm currently reading, and it's actually a really good book, and it talks about going through that stuff and how our ancestors actually had to do all that too, and how they had to deal with that shit. And most of them, if you go way back far enough, did it with fucking loincloths and fucking furs and shit,
right?
They didn't have fucking clothes. They didn't have, I have 2 different layers on right now, so it's just kind of crazy when you start to think about how easy we have it and how much we take shit for granted. We're not grateful for what we have.
We're not. I think some people are grateful, of course. I know I'm certainly try to be grateful, but we overlook that sommes.
We do.
I'm grateful that you could come here with me, or I'd be sitting here by myself.
Right. Right.
But I think what we're lacking, something that modern pagans don't have that the ancient ones did, was resiliency. We tend to lose. It's like we want it and we want it now. People will ask me questions. They'll be like, "What books do I need to read to be a pagan?" And it's like, all of them. Like, if you find
every
one, read it.
Every single one of them, man. Find it, read it, because we don't have much of them.
So read other people's interpretations. Read, don't. There's not like one book. It's not magic. We don't have a Bible and that kind of stuff.
Right.
But you go live it. You got to live the life.
Yeah.
And there's no instant, but everybody wants the instant gratification. All I got to do is read this book, and now I'm a pagan. No.
Patience.
You have to live a pagan life. Yeah, you gotta honor the land and the nature. You can't be one of those pigs that goes into camp and throws beer cans in the trees and stuff and be like, "I'm a Norse heathen. We don't care about the trees."
Yeah, that's not the way.
Yeah.
That's not the way at all, man.
But there people are out there that are like that. They're like, Vikings didn't care about beer cans and
but that's pop culture.
Yeah.
That's pop culture. That's not us. That's not Asatru. That's not þórr.
Yeah.
Right. That is brosatru.
that's a good point. Is that it's pop culture? That it's not culture? It's pop culture.
It's pop culture.
And that's a big
it's not
distinguishing
our culture.
difference.
It's not my culture, at least.
No.
It's not how I live. I mean, if
I get so many people and they're like, "You think you're Viking? I'm Viking. I'll come show you what a Viking is." And I'm like, I never said I was Viking. I mean, I got some Norse ancestry, and I'm Asatru, but we don't do the Viking thing.
Right. I actually had an experience with one of those kinds of people, a plagan, essentially.
Yeah.
And it was kind of, it wasn't like, but it was just like, whoa, dude, do you even know? He said he was a Christian, but he believes in the ancestors, and he had a vegetarian beard knot, and he had contacts in to be blonde haired and blue eyed.
Oh no.
And
wow, he took it to that extreme.
He took it to that extreme, to even wanting to go to local Renaissance festivals and just acting like a Viking. And I'm like, oh yeah,
that's the definition of plagan. But
he's gonna get drunk and just make a fool of himself, and then people like us that really do care about this religion and care about this way of life,
and the people that are trying.
Yeah, and the people that are trying. Those of you out there that are trying, you know, and those of you that live it, like Gardvord. He's lived it from when he was young.
Yeah.
So those kinds of people puts a bad taste in everybody else's mouth, and it's really frustrating.
Yeah, and it hurts, and it's hard to. I mean, it's hard to just go outside your comfort zone and communicate with people, because you never know what kind of people you're communicating with, whether they're the WS types or whether they're the plagans or the brosatru. But it seems like more and more lately everybody has a chip on their shoulder because the rest of the community isn't doing it their way. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, there's some really extreme leftist viewpoints, and there's some really extreme right viewpoints, and they all have a chip on their shoulder because people aren't seeing it their way. Whereas we're just like, hey man, do whatever you want.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. I'm going to do it my way.
It doesn't affect me.
You can do it your way. Yeah, it's not your practice doesn't affect me.
Right.
All of you out there don't affect me in my life beyond what you say on social media or something else like that. Because I'm only going to give you that power if I want to, and I really don't. There's only a few people that I allow any power over me.
Right.
Yeah. So and those people are very dear and precious to me, and those that's the problem nowadays.
Yeah.
Everybody's really quick to anger, really quick to throwing the fisticuffs down, and just going at it. It's like, why? I understand there's a point in a time that you need to, but we should be able to be open. I should be able to say, dude, that's just not how I do it. This is how I do it. This is why I do it. You should be okay with that, and I'll be okay with that.
We should be able to have a discussion.
Yeah,
I should be able to say, why do you do it that way? Instead of like, why you do it that way, dude?
Yeah.
I should be able to be like, why do you do it that way? Because I'm interested.
And then, but the thing is that you can say it that way, but they're not reading your body language. They're not reading your voice tone. They're reading the words.
Yeah.
They're just hearing what you are saying. And then they get offended by that.
And I'll tell you why that is, because some of them don't know why they do it that way. They're not doing it because it's intuitive. They're doing it because somebody told them that's how you got to do it. And I know, because I was a young pagan once too, that when you take something in and you start to do it a certain way, that becomes your way.
Yeah.
And you maybe don't really have any way to rationalize it or explain why you do it this way. That just became your way. And then anything that comes along that might threaten that, you've already internalized it. And if something threatens it, then it's a threat to you.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. But I'm not trying to come at people as a threat. I'm just super inquisitive about everything.
Yeah. You should be.
And I'm like, why do you do it that way? Because I do it this way.
Yeah.
And this is why I do it this way. Why do you do it that way? It's not an attack or an assault.
It's me trying to change and grow.
Fill it in. I'm trying to fill it in. There's a lot of holes in this.
Yeah. Not only in Asatru, but in life in general. I mean, most of our parents some people have really good lives, but they still miss things. They still miss teaching us things. And we grow up to be totally different people than what our parents think that we should be.
Right.
So we have
my kids do
interests.
too.
yeah, right. We just have different interests. For instance, my kid, I want her to do one thing, and I got super upset about it. And then I talked to Stig about it, man, and he really kind of like, dude, why? This is my fucking problem. And I was like, oh, dude.
Stig's a good counselor, dude.
Yeah, great counselor.
For somebody who half-ass pays attention most of the time.
He's a good listener. He's a good heart, man.
I was kind of spun up on that last float trip we did because I was supposed to be able to bring my canoe. Yeah. And I was like really happy about bringing my canoe. And I'm like, I contacted them at the last minute, and I'm like, all right, I got all my stuff together. I'm still okay to bring my canoe, right? And they're like, no, that's a liability. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't even want to fucking go now. Like, it
fuck
ruined
that.
the whole trip for me. But and Stig's like, dude, quit whining. Like, you're getting a free boat trip for 4 days on the Smith River. It's a bucket list trip. Just shut up and go on the boat. I'm like, that's a good point.
Drop your expectations a little,
That's a good point. It's still going to be awesome. I'm still going to be floating down the Smith with a bunch of veterans,
Yeah.
And,
I could still salvage this.
Quit
and make
being
a
fucking baby.
Yeah.
But sometimes we need that, man.
Yeah, we do. And he's definitely a good guy to do that.
Yeah.
Give it to us. Because you do. You guys do need that. You need somebody out there to keep you in check.
You come up. Hi. Hi, buddy. Say hi to everybody. I know. I know you want to go paddle, don't you?
Yeah, he probably does want to get in the water.
He's going to pull my cord here. Okay, off. I know. Little last kiss, huh? Go lay down. Go play in the water. Go play, water dog. I was getting a little excited. That's what he was coming over for.
Oh,
I did.
Because he is a service dog, right?
Yeah. He's
an actual trained service dog.
Yeah, he's really good. I was just getting a little spun up, so he came over to just kind of let me know that I was breaking the baseline.
Yeah.
That's what he does. Hey, you're breaking the baseline here, buddy.
Yeah.
So, he's good. Yeah, I'm good. Go play. Thank you, buddy. Love you. Yeah, he's a good dog.
He is a good dog. Dogs are always good, though. I don't think there's really a bad dog. It's a bad dog owner.
Yeah, there's lots of bad owners for sure.
Yeah.
That's why I was saying, since we're putting the fence up.
Yeah.
I've been losing chickens.
No way.
And Joe said he thought he saw Sigurd. He said he thought he saw a coyote run through the yard, but it's not. It's a neighbor dog, and I know which dog it is. That's escaping, and it's coming through, and it's like systematically eating my chickens, but it's just killing them.
Yeah.
And then the ravens, I throw them up on top of the old camper out back.
Yeah.
I just throw it up on top of that and let the ravens have it.
Yeah.
Because what am I going to do with it?
You're not going to eat it. No. It's all mangled.
Yeah. I mean, it's a dead chicken now.
Yeah.
And but I don't want to hurt the dog. Like that's
No, I
it's not the
understand that,
dog's
too.
fault. It's the owner's fault.
It's the owner's fault for not
Secure
keeping
your
the
dog. Train your dog. My
And the only
dog doesn't kill
problem-
chickens.
The only problem with that too is like once a dog starts eating on chickens, man, they go after chickens.
Yeah.
They-
Well, I'm putting up a fence to keep the dog out.
Right,
And,
right.
they obviously can't put up a well enough fence to keep the dog in, but I can put up one that'll keep it out. I promise
for
that.
Sure.
So that's what we're gonna do. Because I don't even want to shoot the dog with a BB gun. You shoot my dog.
Oh,
I don't care if he's chasing chickens or not.
unglued.
You shoot my dog, and I'm gonna do some. I don't want to like say it. So
Yeah, yeah. Never mind.
but there will be hell to pay.
yes,
So-
yes, that is true.
I don't care if he's chasing chickens, but my dog's trained, so
Yeah,
he doesn't do
right,
that.
Right.
But he was sure interested in them loons the other day.
Yeah, he was.
he didn't get too crazy.
They were very uninterested. They got out of there real quick.
Yeah,
Little babies
like,
tried
nope.
even flying.
Don't know what that is.
Yeah, that was funny.
Those butterflies are coming through here like Top Gun pilots.
Yeah, just flying
Yeah.
through here.
Yeah, I don't know if we're catching them on the video or not, but they're tearing through here.
It's just awesome to be out here. It really is.
Yeah, it's just nice to reset and just kind of, let your brain defog, I guess.
Yeah, defog. That's a good way to put it, because you're not processing anything. You kind of escape. You're escaping. You're not at home. You're not dealing with things there. You're not cleaning the house. You're not dealing with
Right.
stuff. Now on the trip home, now you have to deal with all that stuff that's waiting for you. But now you're at a fresher frame of mind. You're relaxed. I'm totally recuperated. I woke up at 6:00 this morning without an alarm or anything. It
Yeah.
was kind of crazy. Like,
Well, it helps with the sun right there beaming on
that's
our
true. That's
front
true
door.
on the
but
front door. But anyways, yeah, I just woke up refreshed and had no issues at all today.
Yeah.
So far.
I watched the sunrise from my rack.
That'd be crazy
Yeah, I had
cool.
the flat back, and I could watch the sunrise just as it was coming up. And then I went back to sleep until it started beating on my head.
Yeah.
But I think the value in it is it's like it's almost like a physical manifestation of sleep, like an awake manifestation of sleep, where when you're sleeping, your brain's at rest, and it can start taking all these things and
Yes.
putting them in the right place and solving problems. That's why, like, if you have a particularly difficult problem to solve, a thing to do is like meditate on it as you fall asleep.
Okay.
And then it makes it a kind of a priority. So your brain's like, okay, we got a problem to fix, and then we can finish
Yeah.
doing these things.
Yeah.
And then you wake up with the solution. Sometimes it takes a couple of days of doing that, but your brain will answer the question for you. That's kind of what this is in an awaking state. There's no responsibility.
Yeah.
If you're hungry, you eat. If you're cold, you put on a sweatshirt. If you're hot, you jump in the lake. Like everything is easy to meet, and you don't have to really concern yourself with anything. And it's that time where your brain can just kind of like settle back down to its baseline, organize everything the way you're supposed to, and then you can go back and deal with your problems with more kind of a fresher attitude.
Oh yeah.
So
Definitely.
and that's what it does for me. And it had been a while. Like I hadn't been up here in a while, and I was really kind of hungry for it. That might be why I was so off.
It could be. I mean, maybe that's just a way that our brain, our body's saying we do need a reset. We need to stop, and we need to really reconnect with everything, and just not even reconnect with nature, but reconnect with ourselves.
Right.
And, grow yourself. Right. Like that's the whole purpose of us. We're to get better.
And it's cool to just know that and acknowledge it, even if it's just right now just a theory. But we acknowledge it, so the next time we're super stressed out, I can be like, "Hey, Jafnharr, what do you think about the lake this weekend?" Like I'm not feeling it. What do you think about paddling up there and just forgetting the world for a couple of days?
Yeah.
And then after a while, even if that's not clinically true, that's not what's happening, we're going to program ourselves to know that this is where we go to reset.
Yeah.
And
our
it'll
mind
work.
will reset.
It
and
will.
It'll feel great. It would be just hitting that reset button sometimes is what we all really need.
Yeah.
And
we're totally programmable, so you can program your own reset, whatever your reset is. Maybe it's skateboarding, maybe it's rollerblading, whatever activity you do that allows you to turn off all your drama and just enjoy the moment. I think is a good reset, and that's what this is. Like I took a 3-hour or 4-hour nap in the hammock yesterday.
Yeah. I took a 3-hour nap. I woke up at like 8:30, 8:45, and was like, well, shoot, okay. I'll hang out for a couple more hours. Went to bed at midnight.
Mm-hmm.
Sat there, meditated by the fire after you went to bed for a little bit. Did my own processing. There was a lot of quiet times, where we didn't hang out. But we were still hanging out.
Yeah,
we were
yeah.
still here. We were
For
just
real.
kind of separated. He was in his hammock. I was in my tent. We both took a fucking nap.
Yeah, long nap too.
Yeah, long nap. Even on the lake. That wasn't on the lake and on the whole canoe trip. It was actually fun because we had times where we got together and we talked and we bullshitted and we kind of just BS.
And there are times where you're ahead and I'm kind of dragging ass. And times when I was ahead and you're dragging ass.
dragging ass. There would be times where I'd stop and I'd sit there and stare at a tree and I'd just let the freaking the flow of the lake, going from upper to lower.
And it was neat too
thing.
because you would slow down and I would occasionally look back and I'd be like, oh wow, he's way back. Good, because I really wanted to check this thing out.
Yeah.
So I got time to look.
Okay.
I got time to look because he's got to catch up anyway.
But that's what I'm saying. It was just a really perfect time.
Yeah.
It's no drama, no responsibilities.
Yeah.
Besides just like you said, feeding and watering yourself and just meeting your own necessities. Man, I just can't get over the fact of how well this weekend went.
Yeah.
And
it didn't start out that way because I brought some of that. I was in a bad place when we headed out anyway. I brought some of that with me, so I'll tell you the way it started for me. You weren't here, so I paddled in. Ralph and I had work, so I came up. I had actually some other things to take care of that set me a little behind, which automatically set me off anyway because I was expecting to be in camp before I even left my house.
Oh, right.
So I was pretty far behind,
right?
Because I had to go to town with that bird.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
that's right.
So I had to deal with all of that, and then I get into camp and I set up, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna take a break, and I set up the hammock just to kind of look out over the lake and just kind of get present.
Yeah.
And I poured myself a beer in a little tin cup, and I sat down in the hammock. Hammock flipped over backwards, dumped me on my back, and splashed beer all over my face. And I was like, nope,
no way.
not today. You're not having it.
Way.
You're not having it. I will pour me another beer, and I'll get in that hammock correctly.
Yeah.
I've maybe fallen out of a hammock twice or three times in my life.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I just plopped down in that thing and whoop, right up on my ass.
Oh, fuck, dude. It was trying to ruin it.
I was bringing that
energy, that bad energy.
Yeah, so you have to be willing to, you got to be willing to let it go. Because I could have been pissed. I could have kicked that tree stump and broke my toe. And I could have done all kinds of weird things.
Right.
But instead, I was like, nope, that's not what this weekend's about.
Push through.
No stress this time.
Yeah. Just try to keep calm. I mean, one thing I always learned to do when I was in the foster homes and stuff was we took anger management classes. It was kind of just state-ran anger management classes, but it was great. It has helped me a lot in my life. But one of the things was breathing. Just doing a little bit of breath work, man. It really will kind of like calm your nerves. It will clear your head, and it does help for that immediate thing, like the thing that's right in front of you, the present, whatever is fucking with you right now. Just take a couple deep breaths. I catch myself doing it at work. I mean, that's why people smoke cigarettes.
Especially when you feel that anxiety in your belly.
In your belly, yeah. And that's why people smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, because that's breathing.
That's breathing. Your breath work. Yeah, you're adding nicotine and drugs into it, but whatever.
It is breath work.
It's breath work. Yeah. That breath is a cigarette, drawing some cigarette. But that there is something we can all use to at that moment, at the very present, to fight with whatever, stub your toe, flip over in a hammock, pop a tire on the highway, whatever it may be. It's a good way to just stop, take a quick minute if you have to. I even learned that from a guy that at work. He was starting to get frustrated, and he says, you know what? Okay, I've gotten to this next step. Before I go any further, so I'm not getting into this next step with a frame of mind of frustration, and I'm kind of tired of this job already. I need to go to the truck. You kind of clean up real quick. I'm going to take 2 minutes, dude. And I'm like, cool, man. Go do your thing. Yeah. I'll be right here.
And that's one of the things we do on the Smith trip with the Montana Vets program. Yeah. Which Stig is a big part of that. He's a team leader for them. So MVP's kind of in league with us anyway. A lot of those guys I worked with while we were on active duty.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things we do is each morning we do these different exercises, coping kind of skills. So we do cold water plunge on the last day. We do meditation, and they, everybody teaches a little class on, well, they're instructors there, their team leaders teach a class on meditation. And then I usually add a little bit because I meditate all the time, so I have some tricks that help people get started in meditation. And then breathing, we do some Wim Hof breathing and some box breathing techniques and various different other things, just coping stuff to help you just in the moment, just like, because we get spun up, you feel that anxiety in your belly. It's boiling, and you're just ready to go grab a bat and cave somebody's forehead in. But you know that's only going to lead to more bad stuff.
Or even break down and cry. For those of you that aren't on the anger side of the whole problem, you're on the sadness side of the whole problem.
Right.
Depression is a killer, and
I've been on both sides of that.
Yeah, same here, and that helps with both sides of the coin. So,
and I've always wondered, like, why is it for vets? It doesn't happen. Like, you're out of the military and now you're messed up in the head. It takes years for you to get there, where all this stuff starts to creep in. And I don't think it has I'm only speaking for myself here because I know everybody's got different experiences. But for me, it doesn't have a lot to do with the things that I've done or seen during my service. I enjoyed most of it, which makes me a little sadistic, I suppose. But whatever, I enjoyed my job very much, and I don't have any remorse about any of it.
You can be pride in your work.
But I pretty much lived in camp.
I
was always, it was me and anywhere from 1 to 4 to 6 other guys in a camp, in the woods, sneaking around, sitting in a hide site, just observing obviously what's going on when you're the guy on the glass, but the rest of the time you're just sitting around like
playing cards, fucking around,
whatever, just quietly trying to
reading, just letting the guy behind on the glass.
Yeah, so a big portion of my career was spent in the field, and then when I got out, now priorities keep me at home. I'm fixing the truck or making a knife or, doing some other, menial task. And I'm not out in the field. I'm not out here.
Out here doing stuff.
And even the vey is a really good reprieve from that. You can go sit in the vey and just kind of relax and enjoy some time. But I can still hear the neighbor's chainsaw and the neighbor's rooster and the dogs barking and, and...
That's got to be the one thing that I feel so fucking lucky. The more and more I talk to people about shit, the more and more I feel lucky about like just where I live and how I live. Because I don't experience that, I'm on the top of a fucking mountain. Nobody's around me. I might hear some guns shooting off, and that's about it. Which to me, that's music,
Right?
It sounds awesome.
Doesn't bother me.
Doesn't bother me at all. But I don't get to experience that anxiety and all that stress. That's something that you'd have to think. I could never live in the city. Even when I come to your guys' house, like the lights downstairs when I'm sleeping with Sigurd, and, in the living room.
That's why you always sleep in the tent outside.
Yeah, that's why I always sleep in the tent, because it's dark and it's quiet, and it's out by the road, so you might hear a car drive by.
I fixed the toilet, though, because I know that running toilet probably killed you as a plumber.
I was like, man, I wish he'd just ask me to let me just fix this. I'll fix it in a fucking heartbeat.
You know me, I don't like to ask for stuff. I did get it fixed. I rebuilt the whole tank and everything.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I even took the whole tank off and pressure washed it.
Good, because it does. I will have to say, I have pulled the lid off and like fucked with it a little bit and like got it to stop doing it, but then it just keeps doing it again.
It was because I kind of did a repair on it and replaced it once before. Here we are talking about toilet repair. But the flapper valve thing was in the package, kind of tweaky. And it never straightened out. I thought it would straighten out eventually, but it didn't. It always just stayed a little crooked.
Like
So eventually, I went to the hardware store and I was like, I'm going to buy the most expensive toilet kit I can find.
Okay.
I want to replace everything. The bolts, the washers, the plunger,
the under the tank gasket.
Yeah, the little gasket thing, everything.
Good.
So it was a whole big kit. It still wasn't much. It was only like $35 or whatever.
Yeah.
And but that was the best kit they had at Ace Hardware. And then and I put it in and I was like, I messed up because it leaked all over the floor because I put the gasket in the wrong place.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, boy, I really could use a plumber right now.
Oh, shoot. You could have taken a picture and just sent it to me.
I got it. I figured it out immediately. I just put the gasket on the wrong side of the screw. So the back of it sits on the base, and I put the gasket between the two, and it should have been on the inside with the washer on top. I should have known better, but I didn't think about it. I wasn't in the present. I was just kind of wanting to get the chore done. And then I had to do it twice.
So. That really is the thing, man. You do seem to find, I find myself getting into that. Like, you're starting to do something, and then, like, you're just trying to get it done. You're trying to get fast at it. You're trying to do something, because you have other stuff to do. You're busy. Our brains are so track oriented. Okay, get this, and do it in this order. And so you're trying to get it done. And you're trying to get, especially if you're looking forward to something that's further down the list,
right?
You really are pushing yourself a little too fast, and
just want to get it done. You're not doing it now.
Yeah. You just need to be patient. Just take the time. Stop. Take that time, because I've even noticed that if I catch myself in that aspect or that mindset, I'll stop. I'll slow down, and not saying time slows down, but it won't rush by me, because I'm rushing. I'm like trying to run from point A to point B, grabbing fittings, whatever, cut pipe as fast as I can, put it in the wall. So that way I'm making my company as much money. I don't feel bad about myself by like stealing money from my company. You're
doing the best job you can possibly do.
Yes.
Or the fastest
and
job.
the fastest job you can. And sometimes you can't. You got to stop, slow down, because you doing it fast is only, you're going to miss stuff. You're going to mess things up.
And you're going to have to redo it sometimes.
You have to redo it. Like, so I literally have to now go out to another job here in the next couple of weeks to fix something that I could have done right if I would have just stopped, taken a breath, looked at what I did, and then like, oh, that's what's wrong right there. Okay, that needs to get moved.
I feel like society programs us for that now, though.
I really do, yes.
Because like we're being programmed to just get through it to the next event and never to really enjoy the one we're on.
Yes.
And when I used to study, I studied Stoicism because I thought it was a really good, like a good way to kind of bring life experiences together and make something useful out of it.
Yes.
And one of the things, and maybe if one of you guys knows where to actually look this up, because I don't know the facts on it, but there was a study that was done about Stoics. Some of the Stoic sites and stuff, mention it. Okay. But the idea was that the more present you are in the event, then the more joyful it is.
Yeah.
So, and they had some people sign up for this thing, and they would just get a random call, and it's like, hey, what are you doing right now? From 1 to 10, how much are you enjoying it?
Yeah.
And then. From 1 to 10, how much are you actually paying attention to it, right?
Yeah.
And they'd wake people up, or they would catch people having sex, or they would catch people doing the dishes or cooking dinner, and they would find that no matter how menial the task was, you could be shoveling the snow off the driveway, and it's more enjoyable personally than having sex.
Okay.
If you're having sex and you're thinking about problems and stuff that are happening, but you're shoveling the driveway and all you're thinking about is moving that snow, and you're just present in the task, that you find that it's more enjoyable.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe the powers that be know that, which is why they're programming us to always be running at like 90 miles an hour.
That's
so
why
you don't have time to
having energy drinks. Have you noticed that too?
Yeah.
That was a whole nother thing. There are more and more energy drink companies coming out. More and more ways to keep you up longer, to keep going, to give you more energy, because we're running ourselves ragged.
Mm-hmm.
I know myself. I have 2 kids and 1 kid on the way, and I have a wife, and I have friends, I have family.
Yeah.
I have things to do, and I'm always running. I tell people all the time, I am busy. It may not feel like it, but I know I am, because you look at my calendar on my phone and it is packed.
It's blocked in, yeah.
It's blocked in.
And then I add the added stress of having to get these things done too.
Yeah,
to the whole thing, because I got 5 kids
podcasts.
and 2 of them are special needs.
Right.
So
right. And having to deal with this, it took us probably 20, 30 minutes to get this all kind of set up and going and tested and ready, and then the right lighting. Now that the sun's
we had to move around a little bit to get any kind of decent lighting, but the only thing we could do to get any better is go out here. But what you don't know is I didn't bring a tripod, just a clamp. So I actually have a stick leaning against the tree with the camera on a clamp, and then I had to tie the stick to the tree so that it doesn't twist. Whatever, we'll take a picture of it. We'll put it in here. We'll show you.
Yeah, so, right.
Because it's a pretty hokey setup, but it works for us. It looks all professional on this end. On that end, it looks like
it looks
Robinson Crusoe.
You have to imagine, man, that when they're shooting some things and something breaks and they're out in the middle of nowhere.
Guaranteed duct tape, zip ties, fix everything.
Fixing it, man. We can just use a stick and duct tape it all together,
Yeah, absolutely, that happens. There are people that they hire for production shoots. Their whole area of expertise is just making stuff work.
Yeah, right.
Just getting through it,
right.
Yeah. But I don't generally bring a tripod out to this kind of stuff anyway, because there's always something to clamp onto.
You're right. We found several different options. We tried. We looked around for a while, just trying to. Oh yeah, that looks like it'll be good.
It's like, where's the good spot? Where's the good lighting? Then we'll figure out how to stabilize the camera.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
So.
Yeah.
But we just didn't let the problem get to us.
No, we
really
didn't. We didn't. We stopped. We took a breath. We enjoyed the moment. We were in the present. I was looking forward to this. Like I said,
I'll tell you, the setting up of the podcast
Yeah.
could have been a podcast. As we're talking about it.
Yeah.
So
really, it really could have been like part of the podcast, because we were talking just like this, just BSing and just letting the conversation flow where it may be.
Yeah.
Of course, we have our idea of where we want it to take it, but
Yeah, you got an idea, but
Yeah.
we didn't actually there's no script in front of me.
yeah, no. This is just us, raw form, guys, raw form.
Raw form, yeah.
Yeah.
Raw dogging it.
Yeah, raw dogging it. Yeah, free balling.
That's how kids happen.
Yeah. So, with that being said, it's always good and important for everybody to take some time to not only take time for yourself, but take time for yourself and others. Come out here, because I actually invited you out here. You know, I was like, hey, I have a weekend. I have a canoe. You need a friend. You need some time, man. Where are we going? Yeah, he's like,
I know a spot.
Yeah, I know a spot. Brought up his phone. Right here. This is one of my favorites. And like, cool, let's do it.
And that's why I'm not telling you where it's at.
Yeah. But it's really good to get out there and to do something with people, because us as people, as humans, we need community. We need social interaction. That is healing for us. You know?
For sure. Well, it's also good for us anyway, because like we were just talking about the rush and the always being on the next step when we're not done with this one, and the Red Bulls and the energy drinks and the coffee.
Yeah.
I mean, I still love my coffee, but I
agreed.
only have a couple cups in the morning. I don't drink it like I used
stick to about 35 milligrams now, because if I don't, I will sit here and talk over.
So this is awesome, because it gets to reset your rhythm,
Yeah.
I mean, we're in the summertime, so we have a lot more sun than usual.
Yeah, we have actually just over 16 and a half hours.
Yeah.
That was all thanks to my father-in-law. He keeps us updated on how many hours of sunlight we have, like by week.
But we got to rise and fall with the sun.
Yeah.
We're up, the sun starts to set, we light a campfire, we hang out around the campfire, drink some beers or some wine, and then when it's dark, you go to bed, and when the sun comes up, it wakes you up, and you're back on an actual rhythm of sleep that's natural.
Yeah, that's actually natural. It is really kind of a good thing to do too. I mean, it's resetting yourself like that really probably does help. It's just another form of reset,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can hear this wind picking up just a little bit. I think it's okay.
Well, there's a boat coming now.
Yeah, I hear the boat.
Yeah.
But that's par for the course. That's going to happen.
Yep, just a speedboat, but I mean, it's a huge lake, so.
Yeah. I'd rather have them be speeding down here than speeding in the upper.
Yeah, the upper is really, it's very pristine. It's all national forest, so it was really kind of cool. They even made new camp spots up there, but respect it. You guys, anywhere you go, you should really respect what you're given. You should be grateful for what we have. I'm super grateful just to be here and to share this time, and to have had the opportunity to really take my first canoe trip. This was my first canoe trip.
Oh, really?
I've gone portage, across the lake just to go camp at somewhere, and then I left it there because I had a boat to get back.
Right.
But I was like, I'll take the canoe out to the lake, and then I'll use it.
But this is your first canoe in, camp, canoe out thing.
Yeah, and the whole paddle yesterday.
That paddle yesterday was epic too.
Yeah, that was a fun
really
time.
Good.
Yeah, that was a fun
A
time.
lot of cool people on the river.
Cool people, really nice people.
We talked about canoe and hull designs and why one would do work better than the other. And we talked a lot about paddles. I didn't actually let you try any of my other paddles.
That's okay. So. I had a good enough time trying to get used to my own.
Yeah,
just getting the strokes down.
The paddle strokes and everything
I was
about
trying
it.
To mess around with it. And
maneuvering, side slipping, having a little bit of fun there. And
yeah. There was some times that I was able to do some of that stuff. So it was but it was fun to do. So it was just a blast.
Yeah, I was
grateful for it.
Yeah,
just
everything's a good time,
folks. Just be grateful.
And we'll get going here. We'll paddle back home and.
Yeah.
What are you garling at? What's over there? It's a boat, dude. You ain't gonna hurt it.
Yeah, you might just might be able to see it right about there.
Yeah, it's right about there, huh?
Yeah.
Just a little boat way out on the other side.
Way out there. He sees it though. He's got our backs.
He does all night long.
Yeah.
There ain't no squirrel ain't coming into camp.
No.
But he didn't save your mouthpiece though.
No, he didn't. A little animal was searching through my stuff. It must have smelled like something and drew it in.
Yeah.
And that's why it's very important if you're out in like this area, at least, is grizzly bear territory.
Yeah.
Right. Make sure you put your stuff up. But anyways, it chewed a little bit at my mouthpiece for my water bladder bag in my backpack. So whatever though, it unscrews actually. In fact, I was like messing around with it. I thought it like came on and off, just like ribbed. No, it's a whole unscrewing process. So it's like seriously, all I have to do is just unscrew it, put a new one on.
Oh, cool.
So,
yeah.
Not even a big deal.
I might even have some of those old either source ones or camelback ones from back in.
Oh, okay.
They wouldn't go on the same way, but they'll go on the hose, you know.
Well, the whole hose is actually the whole hose unscrews off of the bag.
Oh, okay.
So I can unscrew the whole hose and I can unscrew the mouthpiece, I guess, and clean it all out.
Right on.
But it was from Ozark. It's Ozark Trail from Walmart, so it'll probably cost me $6 if that to get a new. Hey.
Wow, did you hear that?
Yeah.
That was cool.
He's right here.
We're totally gonna leave that in.
Okay. Here, get on out of there, little guy. He's like, all right, I'll just let him be then. I'll just let him be.
Yeah, we'll let him be for now. We're gonna wrap this up here soon anyway. We're pushing about an hour, so.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Yeah, so that's kind of the thing. Like, you could let that get to you, and you could be like, "Damn, Bugs, we're trying to shoot a podcast," you know, or
but
you could enjoy that.
Whatever, enjoy that, laugh at it. I mean, because it did sound kind of cool in our headphones.
It did, it
cool.
sounded. Well, you'll hear it probably.
Oh yeah, as long as you leave it in.
So we'll throw in some extra pictures and stuff like that, and then maybe a little bit of video clips, and then we'll, add a little bit of the area here to it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're listening to it and not watching it, this is probably one to go watch because it is kind of beautiful. And another butterfly just landed in your boat.
I'm telling you, May is a butterfly. She loves butterflies.
So she's haunting you.
She's
like, Daddy, come home. When you coming home?
Come home. Yeah. The whole time it made me miss her. We had one that actually fly across the whole lake. Like we were out in the middle of the lake and just trying to come back here, and then all of a sudden I see this little butterfly right in front of me. I mean, like this far away from me, as far as this mic is.
Yeah.
And it floated right in front of me. I just stopped and I just watched it float all the way to the other side. It was just beeline straight across the lake. I'm like, fuck. Of all chances, I'm going to run into a butterfly on this fucking lake.
Yeah, there's some stuff going on with them butterflies, too.
Yeah.
There's one again, yeah.
Yeah, but anyways.
Anyway, they're all over the place.
Yeah. So definitely you guys watch it because it is pretty cool. And like he says, he'll add some more video and maybe some clips and some pictures to it, so that way you guys can kind of see because it is a beautiful place out here.
Yeah, we'll see what I have left over, and then and these are like carved out campsites too. There's bear boxes. There's a kind of a half-assed shitter over there, a toilet set up.
Yeah.
They're carved fire rings. It's like they're really legit campsites, but it's not like it's just wilderness camping. Although I'm game with that one too.
Yeah,
I'd really love to just paddle into nowhere and make my own camp. You just can't do that here. If everybody did that here, this whole lake would be just trashed.
Yeah, it would be ruined.
Yeah.
Again, be grateful for what you have. Respect it. Show that respect.
Yeah, be a good steward. Like clean up camp. I went around here when I got here and I picked up all the extra trash. It was little bits of, it wasn't much, like people didn't dump their trash out, but they was, like the top of a soda.
Oh, okay,
or the, there's that
little tiny plastic thing,
bottle cap or a beer cap or something. I just went around and just kind of kicked stuff around and cleaned up the camp because I would appreciate it if people do that for me. And I'll do one last walkthrough once we pack all our stuff into the boat. And also I got to remember to show you my boat with all the stuff.
Yeah,
all the stuff loaded up.
That was supposed to be put in earlier in case you missed it, or right there.
Or right here, yeah. So I guess that's it. I guess we're going to wrap it up. So I hope that you enjoyed it. I know we didn't get real deep in the weeds about Asatru, but this is paganism. This is heathenry. This is animism. This is living the life close to nature and actually enjoying what you have and not obsessing over the things that you don't or the people that have what you don't have.
Yeah.
Because you could go crazy up here.
Yeah,
These
up
people
here.
have. This is where the haves are.
Yeah, this
we're
is the
we're on
have
that. We're on the have-not side. The haves are
Yes.
haves are over there with
Yes.
with glistening copper roofs on their $1 million
Yeah,
houses.
that's right. I've looked across the lake with my little telescope, you
Yeah.
know, and I was like, oh, it's a copper roof. Yeah,
I can
that's
see it right
easy.
there through the trees too. I can see a little
Oh,
section
yeah.
of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We can see it from here. So
I don't think I'll be able to film it, but I'll try.
yeah, that'd be kind of cool to take a picture. I might be able to take a picture, but
Right
we'll
on.
see.
But anyway, we're gonna wrap it up. So I hope that you enjoyed it. I know it wasn't really the same sort of tradition that we do where we're teaching how to do Asatru stuff. But this is an important part of it because burnout's a real thing. Whether you're a Gothi or just somebody trying to find their way, it's
Yeah.
easy to get so obsessed with it and so overwhelmed by it that you just burn out on the whole process.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is definitely part of it, man. This is definitely a way to connect, not only with like I've told you, my dad and I camped, so it was a way for me to connect with ancestors. You know, it was a way for me to bring spirits along with me, to bring that energy here and kind of connect with them, because
Yeah.
it's something he would have loved loved to do. So
Yeah. And you know what, I feel like we connect with Stig because we ate the dinner for the animal that he killed and donated to us.
yeah,
And
yeah, for these kinds of purposes. I
Yeah.
mean, this is kinship too. That's a whole nother aspect of Asatru that is very important. So
Is kinship, yeah, and a lot of people overlook that because they have their online cliques, but it's not the same.
yeah,
This is not online, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah, what we have we couldn't have it if it was just online.
right.
There's a element to kinship, and the problem that I see a lot is when people call it Kindred, and I go back and forth on this all the time, but people call an online thing a kindred, but they don't understand what a kindred is. And I don't care what they call it, that's their business.
Yeah.
The problem is it's misleading to people because they have a bad experience online with a kindred,
Right, right.
and then they don't
now
want
don't
anything to
to
do with a kindred when the two don't even resemble each other,
Right,
you know?
right.
But I really do believe that the origins of Asatru are in kin, right? The
Right.
origins of Norse paganism back in the day was all about kin and
Yeah.
kinship
Oh,
and
yeah.
hospitality and
We even
connectivity.
talked about that.
Yeah,
little
and
bit.
and I think that we kind of lose that a little bit because we can't slow down. We'll wrap it up.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up. So take a deep breath, enjoy the moment, be present.
Be present.
You know, put down the phone. Not right now, but
Yeah, just wait just a minute.
yeah, just a minute. But put down the phone, enjoy it. Be there for your loved ones, for your family, for the spirits, for Landvetter, for your ancestors. Be there for it.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to see it if you're not. If you're focused on the next goal, you're going to get burned out much quicker, and you're not going to see the little things or be able to enjoy them.
Yeah, be there for those who need you. Be there for yourself, and be present in what you're doing. And you'll find a lot more enjoyment in life, even when you're doing the mundane things that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
Being present and being there for it will make it so much more enjoyable. I promise you, just try it. Next time you go to just wash the dishes, then just think about the warmth of the water and how slippery the soap feels, and
Yeah.
you know, and what's the texture of the sponge that you're using to scrub that stuff. And
It'll
just
make a difference.
being present in it, you'll be like, oh, that's cool. I wonder what this other plate feels. I wonder, it feels so much different when I wash porcelain versus washing an aluminum pan.
Yeah.
You know,
Right, right.
Those
Or the
things ma-
medium too, you know, sand versus soap.
yeah.
You have different textures, and try to immerse yourself in those. Observe your surroundings.
Yeah. Put all your effort into the chore that you're doing right now, and don't worry about the next one or the
Yeah.
timeline. And I promise you, it's going to make a difference in your life.
Yeah.
So, with that, I say, you know, kick off your shoes, walk barefoot on the soil, get grounded, get connected, and have a good life.
Yeah.
High five! All right, we'll see you guys later.